Hey Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kathy. How about you?
Oh, pretty good. I noticed this week that FedEx um posted their demand surcharges for the peak season. It's a little bit early, it seems to me, but I guess, you know, the whole Boy Scout motto, be prepared, or that may be the Girl Scout motto. Uh, but anyway, regardless of that, could you walk us through these charges? To me, they seem to be a little high, higher
Yeah,
than
no,
usual.
it is very interesting. I'd say a couple things. One is they actually have four different tiers or tranches of increases. So they start as early as September 29th and go through January 18th. The second tranche starts October 27th through the November 23rd. The third goes November 24th through December 28th. Obviously, the busiest time of the year for e-commerce. And then the last one is the 29th through the 18th. But in the post, we'll put in the exact article that everyone can look at. But it's amazing. Some of the increases from October to November timeframe go up 60%. So not only are there surcharges, some of them go up 60% from a month. And so I would say yes, there's a couple changes. One is it's earlier. Two, looks to be more expensive, and again more complex. There's based upon service, different things. One of the interesting things they also talk about demand residential delivery surcharges. That's going to be dynamic adjusted each week. Okay, using a peaking factor. Well, the reality is, as a shipper, now you not only have to estimate your peak, okay, and your demand, but now you have to anticipate when everyone else's peak is, because that could directly affect your costs. So
Mhm.
I think that's going to be a real challenge for shippers. I know that, for years as a shipper, that was one of the challenging parts is to provide them good information as far as what the demand's going to be for the peak season. But they've really made it very complex again about some of the different surcharges.
Yeah. And it's crazy because this year is already rather messy to say the least with the all the tariffs that seem to be impacting shippers almost on a weekly, if not daily. So if they're struggling to figure out those in regards to cost, how successful do you think shippers are with their forecasting?
Yeah, I think it's like every shipper again, they're going to typically be a little bit more optimistic. I would tell you that if you look at it at the macro level, I think it's going to be low single digit growth year over year. I think that the discretionary spending continues to remain under pressure, and I think that's going to put more and more challenges on things. I know, Amazon, as an example, this year extended their Prime days to 4 days. Okay. And yeah, so did Walmart, so did Kohl's, so did some others. And so they're trying to, again, generate more volume earlier to take away some of the peaks and valleys in the fourth quarter, which again, I think is good business. The reality is, from a supply chain standpoint, most companies have less inventory and they're being a little bit more frugal about it. But what we're seeing from a consumer standpoint is people are really trading down. People, based on some of the different reports, are no longer necessarily just looking for the name brands. There's been a surge of Amazon vendor who've continued to expand. The private label continues to grow with Amazon and the third party. I would also tell you that, I think uh, people are going to, look at this year a little bit different because there's going to be a lot of capacity. UPS, FedEx, DHL, USPS is going to have a lot of capacity available. I think you're going to see some more pressure on rates as we go into the season. So again, I think it's going to be interesting.
It certainly sounds like it. So we're sitting here in July, several, a few months before peak season officially begins. What should shippers be thinking about right now in regards to mitigating their peak season shipping charges?
Again, I think a diversification is one. Two is again urge the listeners to have someone look at what you're doing and give you an analysis of what the opportunities is both from a cost and a service side. I would tell you that BOPIS, buy online, pick up in store, continues to be a good avenue. I think those retailers that are blending both digital and physical experience are going to outperform other people. So, again, I think there's a couple of things that, it's not rocket science, but people need to just relook and make sure that they're set up for success in the near future.
Okay. So before we leave, I wanted to clarify one certain thing. So these were FedEx charges, peak season surcharges. UPS hasn't announced theirs yet, have they?
No, they haven't. And again, I think they're going to come up. I would anticipate very quickly. Typically the one needs to lead before the other, and so I would think that you're going to have that come out relatively quickly. And when it does, we'll be sure to let the listeners know what's going on with that. Again, continues to be a dynamic market, and so more to come. And to that, please make sure that. If you're not subscribed to Jay's Parcel Notes, that you subscribe. Also, if you need anything, please direct message me and be more than happy to help you and your organization.
All right. Well, with that, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat. And again, you can find Jay out on LinkedIn, uh, puts out the Jay's parcel notes, also that newsletter that comes by email. And he can also DM you, I believe, direct message
Absolutely.
you in case they have any questions.
No,
Correct?
I look forward to it. So thanks again, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye bye.